tall tales, true tall tales, true tall tales, true tall tales. Come along and tell your friends, and stick around till the story ends. It's true tall tales. Yeah, I said it's true tall tales. True tall tales, true tall tales, true tall tales. Yeah, yeah. True tall tales. Yeah. True tall tales. Yeah, it's true tall tales. Tales, tales. Yeah, true tall tales. Ha.
This is a Tru Inferno explosion.
That's the Tru Inferno. Back with another Black Ops 2 commentary video, and we are doing something different this time around, ladies and gentlemen of the YouTube citizens. This is Tru Tall Tales. Yes, you heard right. Tru Tall Tales. Now, the difference between these tales and any other tales is, you know, some of the cases I'm stretching the truth. That's the reason why some instances of these tales are tall, but there's still some truth in it. Thus the name Tru Tall Tales. You know, there's certain parts that is true, and then there's other part that is like a little bit tall. They've been stretched to a degree. So let's get into today's Tru Tall Tales. And today we're gonna talk about a certain NBA basketball player. We ain't talking about Blake Griffin, Chris Paul, Kevin Durant, Russell Westbrook, Dwight Howard, James Harden. We actually talking about an NBA player that actually won an NBA championship. And ladies and gentlemen of the YouTube citizens, that NBA player that we're going to be talking about today is Mike James. And y'all probably wondering, wait, who the heck is Mike James? Yeah, Mike James is not exactly a superstar. He's not exactly an all-star or anywhere close, but he is a pretty good basketball player. He's been from team to team to team. He actually, like I said, won the NBA championship. And unfortunately, at the moment for him, he is currently in free agency. But we're going to talk about his championship year, which was in 2004. So, around that time, we're talking like early January or February, you know, early in the year, January or February, something like that. He was unfortunately playing for the Boston Celtics. But then he was a part of that three-team trade that landed Rasheed Wallace to the Detroit Pistons, and along the way, Mike James also became a Piston because of that trade as well. So during that time, obviously the Pistons were balling. The Pistons were beasts. You know, they trying to go back to the Eastern Conference Finals for the second straight time, and they messed up that second round pick by drafting Darko Milicic over the likes of Chris Bosh and who else? Carmelo Anthony and so forth and whatnot. But we ain't talking about that. We talking about Mike James. So going into, you know, like I said, January, February, you know, Mike James got on the court doing his thing. Now, keep in mind, at the same time, around that same time, because 2004 is a very ironic year. Around the same time, during the Chappelle show, he came out, Dave Chappelle, that is, came out with, you know, Charlie Murphy's True Hollywood Stories, and the first one was his tales about Rick James, bitch. So, and like all this was going on at the same time. So every time Mike James would go on the court, he was known as a defensive specialist who could also hit the three and was aggressive. So every time he'd get a steal and pop up for the three, you know, we have this saying up here in Detroit, and it's not like, oh, one person just said it and then everybody else around the D said it. No, it wasn't like that. It was like a number of us Detroit cats just thought about it, and it wasn't like we knew each other and say, oh, that's a good nickname for it, that's a good thing. No, it's just like we all didn't know each other, but yet we all thought of the same thing when we see Mike James handle his business on the court. So every time Mike James got on the court and does something good, like I said, he gets the steal, he make a sweet pass, he pulled up for three, or, you know, caused a turnover, you know, somebody, a lot of us would be screaming, that's Mike James, bitch. It was hilarious at the time, because that Dave Chappelle skit, I'm Mike James, bitch. That was hilarious at the time. It was very hilarious. So, for us to pull up with that, that's my chains, bitch. It was funny. It was funny. So, and during that time, like, if you're part of the Detroit Pistons squad, you have your own identity. You have your own personality. So, like with Big Ben, you know, it's Fear the Fro, the defensive player, you know, Mr. Rebound. He grabbed the rebounds. He gets the blocks and so forth, whatnot. Then you have Rasheed Wallace, another big guy, pulls up for the three. You got the Wallace brothers, no relation. Then you got Chauncey Billups, Mr. Big Shot, you know, doing his thing, posting up point guard because he was a big point guard. Then you got Rip Hamilton, who some people call the next Reggie Miller. You know, the upgraded version of Reggie Miller, you know, with the froze in the yes sir and so forth. Then you got Tayshaun Prince with the ring span of 7 feet, despite the fact he's like 6 something, can guard just about any superstar there is at the time. And even like guys coming off the bench, they have their own personalities. You know, you got Lindsey Hunter, the guy who been with the company, with the team for a long time. He been playing for a long time. He been playing when Joe D was still playing. Then you got Darvis Ham. You know, he known as a dunker. Corliss Rimson, who was a beast in the post at the small forward position. He used to own just about every small forward there was. Mehmet Okur, dude from overseas, you know, tall guy who could shoot the three. And then, of course, there was Darko Milicic, you know, Mr. Garbage Man, Mr. Garbage Time. Because when the Pistons blowing somebody out, he'll come in the corner. But then there was Mike James. So, the one thing that Mike James was known for was, it's Mike James, bitch. It was hilarious. It was priceless. So, one day, I'll never forget this. Me and my boys, I think we was like, how old were we? I think we was like 19, yes. Yeah, we were 19, turning 20, so we was 19. We went to this club called St. Andrews. Now, for those of you who don't know, St. Andrews is a club for 18, 19, 20, maybe 21-year-olds nowadays, or if they even still do clubs there. I'm not even sure anymore. But anywho, you know, back then, it was a good spot, you know. And it was about like 7 of us. So we in there, we acting a fool or whatever. And there was this one song that they used to play that was our favorite song because we was really act a fool. And that song was, watch out for the big girl. Every time we hear that song, it's like we just bust out with the, oh! We would get hyped. And one thing that we would always do is, it's like, we put our arms out trying to hold each other back. And, you know, like, in case, like, imagine you trying to walk down the street, but here come a car doing like 75 miles per hour, and before you get in the street, you seize it, and you hold your arms out trying to protect everybody, make sure they don't get in the street. That's what we would do. Like, every time we hear the song, we would do that to one another. Like, we would just, like, leaning back with our arms spread out, or whatever like that. Like, we would get behind actual fat chicks and do that crap and just and paddle back. It's hilarious. But anywho, so we doing our thing, and we even had, like, this little chain walk dance thing. Like, we would do the arm stretch, but we was like strolling in circles on the dance floor, and everybody was looking at us like, you know, we were on the dance floor with this whole watch out for the big girl dance or whatever. So then here come these 9 chicks. Like, it was like they don't even know each other. It's like 4 of them was in their own little group, and the other 5 was in a separate group or whatever. These 9 chicks got on the dance floor, just interrupted our watch out for the big girl moment, and started dancing on us. And then, so while we dancing on these females, of course, you know, one of them was dancing on me or whatever, I looked to my left, and, you know, coming in from the doors was Mike James, bitch. So I'm like, and keep in mind, there's a chick dancing on me, and I'm like, oh snap, it's Mike James, bitch. And she's turning around, right? So here's what happened. She's turning around, but her head turns to the left, towards the door. And because she was about to be like, what you call me? But then she saw Mike James. And she was like, oh snap, it really is Mike James. I'm like, yeah. It was hilarious and more wasted work. So he came in, right? And he just got on the dance floor. We was fooling, dog. But I gotta stop here. Because you won't believe what happens when Mike James got on the dance floor with us. As you can see, you know, we won the game, dog. We was dominating this game, man. But like I said, part 2 of this story, Tru Tall Tales, next week featuring Mike James, bitch. Peace out, y'all.
With a veteran, what I'm causing is tension. The rawest artist spitting, the one that y'all gotta mention. Fuck is with all the tension. I'm coming up from the trenches, corner stores, drug spots, business right off the bench. Yeah, no need to question my axe illa. Your bar small, mine big as the John Mac Miller. Big boss gorilla, my shit the size of giraffes. Dodging haters in my path. I'm Sam Jackson playing shaft. Forewarned, feel wrath. Fuck out of my presence. I'm nicer with the words than Oprah when she's giving presents. God in your presence, my personnel majestic. While Miley Cyrus necking in the back of my 6'7". 6 wrecking in 6 sections. I'll split you. Born to make it bang, bitch. My Zodiac's a pistol. Bulldogs, you shit shoe. Your bitch don't miss you. She sucked my whole team off and spit the kids on.